Hello to everyone, this is Joanna and today I have a very small haul, and the actual part that is the purpose of this video is what I got from Bath and Body Works and Sephora, and it's just small things. It's the three things you heard me say that I wanted to go back for. I also went out to Penny's to get one of the items that I'm going to be showing you, and I was playing around with the black lipstick. They do have one of the palettes that I want in, and the other one is still online. And after I get, I think it's 4 or 5 palettes that I want besides a Tom Ford one. After I get probably the 4 or 5 that I want, I'm going to slow down on eyeshadow because I have a lot that I need to use. And I'm also going to explain a little bit about some eye primers that are helpful, because the palette that I'm going to show you, you already know it's got controversy. Some love it, some don't. And usually primers help with that sort of thing. But what I want to share is I went ahead and I got some of this bread, and it's not special. We have a Lewis Bakery here. Bread is something that I get, but that will go bad on me really, really fast before I know it, because I don't tend to eat it fast enough. Except for those breads I show on here with the nuts in them, that oat bread that I get and the honey nut bread that I got from Target. And I wish both of those were at Schnucks. Unfortunately, one is at Target, one is at Schnucks. I love both of those. I especially love the oatmeal bread with my ham, my turkey and chicken sandwiches, and I love the honey nut bread because it has nuts in it. It too is especially good with turkey and chicken sandwiches, especially real turkey and real chicken, you know, that you make yourself from your chicken breast or whatever. I love that kind of bread with special cheeses and different sauces because of the nuts in the bread. However, what's special about this is the little bitty size. You see how it says half a loaf? Here, and I don't know if it's state, or I'm sorry, I don't know if it's nationwide or not, but we have Colonial bread here locally and Bunny bread. So I don't know how far out those go in the United States, but they come in those big long things, and they're not expensive. They're maybe $1.99 on a good day. The thing of it is, though, by the time that I get partway through that bread and I go to use it for something, it's all moldy, and I mean like seriously moldy. And I'm swearing up and down I couldn't have had that bread that long. I will make toast with it, but my other bread, those nut breads and the Sara Lee breads, they seem to last a lot longer. So I was attracted to this half a loaf because I can toast some of this and I can go ahead and make my sandwiches, and hopefully it'll be okay. We will see. If I end up having it long enough to where it turns, I don't know, but that's what attracted me to this. It was only $1.59. The next thing I got was in support of something, and these right here are the Cake Pod chips, and these are pink Himalayan salt, red wine and vinegar. I don't know how these taste. I know they're very crunchy. They're like the Crunchers, but what made me get them is that they are in support of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And I know that this is like Cancer Awareness Month, and you heard me touch on cancer just a little bit. I've never talked about it a lot. I did show an Alex and Ani bracelet that I got that was for cancer. They also have a breast cancer one, but the one that I got was for cancer itself. I also have a stroke one. As far as I know, no one in my family has any ailments with breast cancer. And I'm not sure about the cancers. As far as my immediate family that has passed away, that has not been an issue. But from a very young age, and I don't know why, cancer has always been something I supported. I mean, I do know why now that I'm an adult. But when I was a little kid, I'd say maybe 10, 11. I know we lived in Chicago, and I think what it was is one of my mother's friends was doing something for cancer. I don't know if she was cooking for a church, and I got to go to her house and help her, and that might be what lit the spark in me. At one of my jobs, they were selling ribs, and it was in support of one of the kitchen staff there that had a niece that was suffering with cancer. So anything cancer, I usually support. At Christmas time, when we give to the rescue mission here, I also give to cancer. Usually, any of my friends at any job that I have, if they are selling anything in support of cancer, I get it. Anything that I can order in support of cancer, I usually do. And I just thought this was cute because as soon as I saw the bag, I said, oh my God, I wonder if they're supporting cancer. And sure enough, they were. Now, I've heard of Susan G. Komen. This is the first time I've heard of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. So I'm going to have to look into this. These were not, however, $3.79. I think these were like $2.85 on sale. And I thought I would try them out. So even if I don't like them, I will probably go buy a couple more bags. But they did not have very many of these. And of course, the only other thing I got was my cherry Coke. Because this and that green tea I keep around, and the only other food item I got, I believe, was some lunch meat. So I won't show that. We will get on into Bath & Body Works and Sephora. So our store finally got the little $7 vials of In the Stars in. And you heard me say that it reminded me of my Pure Paradise. But I still wanted it. It's something about the base note that I get out of this, that part that's kind of fruity scented, probably the Tangelo, that reminds me of something else. But they did have these, and I went ahead and got it because I said that I wanted this. And even if I don't keep this, I might let a friend have it because I do plan on getting the full set. And they're going to have the perfume like this. I will probably just stick with the spray, the cream, the lotion, and the wash. However, if any counterparts come out to this, such as a scrub, or that scrub that's kind of like the sand consistency, I will get some of those. But for the most part, I'm simply interested in the things that I've already mentioned. The cherry, the gingerbread, the, what did I say? Lord have mercy. Hot cocoa and cream. And basically just the same pieces, the gel, the wash, the lotion. However, I will get certain things in the foamy shimmer foam. I will get certain things in a shimmer mist, but for the most part, you've heard me say I have so much product, and I really, really do. I still got a lot of stuff that I'm looking for and re-putting things up, and I need to go ahead and use that and just slow down a little bit. Also on the makeup, there are certain things that I still want that I will get, and I'm still on the hunt down for a powder. Like, I'm a powder person, and when Estee Lauder discontinued my Lucidity 5-6 transparency, I'm kind of lost right now. I do like the NARS Skin Tint in Seychelles, but I'm not really a foundation person. I've always been a powder person, so I'm going to have to hunt down some powder now that it's starting to get cooler. But for the most part, I'm pretty much set on everything. But they did give out these coupons, and this is for November 1st. And we'll have our floor set, I think, October the 29th. There's going to be about 3 floor sets in between prior to Christmas. They do have one of the peppermint candles in the store, the one that smells like peppermint bark, but not the peppermint brownie, not that one. This one is in pink, and it was not part of the $11.95 sale today. The coffee one was, the apple toddy one was, but they're going to start getting those in, and a lot of that stuff they have in the back already. But I went ahead and got this, and I have not opened it. And the only other thing you guys heard me say that I wanted was this. And I really feel like even though they named this Snowy Morning, they should have named it something else, like a part 2 or something, because you've heard me say I have the original Snowy Morning, and the notes that are in it is the frosted bergamot, the mistletoe berry, and the snow-kissed lavender. However, this cream, they've made an addition of fresh balsam and frozen juniper, which makes it smell different. So they could have quite called this something a little bit different if they wanted to. But I love the packaging on this, and the only reason I got the cream instead of the lotion is because in the original form, I have the lotion, the spray, and the gel. And I have to watch it because I notice in a lot of my videos, I'll say the spray and the mist. And what I really mean is another product. So I have to watch saying that. So I do have the mist, the gel, and the lotion in the original Snowy Morning. And then in this version right here, I have the cream. If I really like the cream, I will go ahead and get the mist, but you've heard me say I just wanted this basically for the packaging. So even if I was to use this up, I would keep this. This is just simply beautiful. And this is what it looks like in certain places when it snows before that snow has gone through. So that was all that I got from Bath & Body Works. Everything else out there they had, I got enough of. But they had no products except the lotion in the, what was that vanilla that was out this summer? I can't believe I've forgotten already, but it came out with the apple. They had nothing but the lotion in that. And there was something else where all the products, the Autumn Blooms, the only thing they had in that was a body cream. Everything was completely sold out. So what I got from Sephora, what did I get from Sephora? I believe one thing. They didn't put any samples in here. The only thing I got from Sephora was this palette right here. And this is the Huda Emerald Obsessions. And as you know, I already have the purple one. And I had to get the green and the purple one. I said that if I got two. Now, I do want the topaz and the red one. I don't know if the red one is called Ruby. And then I want the smoky one for the black that's in there. And I'm going to share with you the purple one that I hauled not too long ago. Gonna move some stuff over on my table here because we know my table is quite crowded, which I need to fix that. Okay. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about some primers. And I'm only going to talk to you about the primers from my experience because I'm no expert on primers. But I do find them helpful. This right here is the purple one, and this one is the Amethyst Obsessions, and this is the Emerald. And I had to have these two if no others because I like purple and I love green. One of my favorite greens is Bender by Urban Decay. Now, I was going to try to swatch these. I don't know how this is going to work, and that's what's going to lead into my talk of primer. So let me see. Make sure I don't... because doing this from my phone is kind of weird, and I'm never sure how much of this you can really see. I do not know what is going on with this particular phone and my camera, because you know you heard me say I had a hard time transferring video, but I was able to do it on my other phone. And with this one, the videos that I had in my phone, I cannot transfer them. I'm sorry, the videos I have in my camera, I cannot seem to transfer them to this camera right here. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's not really working out for me. But until I figure that out, I'm going to keep trying. So as you can see, those don't swatch too bad, but that's very light. And I know on the eye it gets built up. So this is why I'm going to mention a little bit about primer, because primers help with situations if you feel like your eyeshadow needs a little bit of help. Now, I will say primers come in different forms. When I first got on YouTube, there were these palettes called 120 palettes, and they had really pretty vibrant colors, but they weren't super pigmented, and a lot of the ladies that were using those were building them up. They were also using something under them called a jumbo milk pencil. Sorry about that. I seem to be having a choking episode, but they use something under them called a jumbo milk pencil, and that's this product right here. And what it is, it's a white pencil, and you see this right here? When they would put their shadow over that, it would make it a little bit more vibrant. At that time, French fries was a popular one. Yogurt was a popular one. Another popular one here was Sparkle Nude, which I'll put this next to this. And these were used as a lot of things. They were used as an eyeshadow base. They were used to go underneath an eyeshadow, maybe like a gold one, to put on top. I think I watched where, was it Savannah Silver? She used to be XX the Island Beauty, used the mountain green one and did a green eyeshadow look on top of it. So things have come a long way since these. And I will say this, you can see that mine are old. And you always hear me say how I'll never throw anything out. Well, these have to be thrown out. I believe I bought these guys as early as 2013. You've also heard me say that unless it's burning my skin, I'm not getting rid of it. Again, when I put these on, they burn my eyes. So I do have to throw these out. I do not know if these are still made. I need to go into Ulta and see. They were $4.50 when I bought them. A lot of people were using this underneath their eyeshadow just to bring out the vibrancy of the color. So I will say, eyeshadow primer, a lot of people think that they don't need it. I would say not to say that unless you know for a fact you don't need it. Some people, an eye primer is not their cup of tea. They don't like them. They use things like this, or they use paint pots. This one, as you can see, is dried out. Another one. I need to probably get rid of. But a popular one among these are the Painterly Paint Pot and the Soft Ochre. Mine happens to be laying low, and I learned about some of these from Beat Face Honey. So this one is laying low. I do have Painterly somewhere. I've never had Soft Ochre. That's like a yellow base one. People use these. A lot of people were doing their cut creases with these. Now they use a lot of the ColourPop concealers, and they use a lot of, I think, the Tarte concealers, and they do their cut creases with those. This one is a ColourPop concealer in Deep Golden. Is this 80? I can't tell if that's 80 or 60. But this is another thing right here people will use. Now, I happen to love the Urban Decay Primer, and I will say this. If you buy the Too Faced eyeshadow palettes, the Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes, the Lorac palettes, you usually don't need to buy an eyeshadow primer, because if they're not coming with a free primer in the eyeshadow, then a primer is included as a gift with purchase. So I truly really never had to purposely buy a primer, but I did. Every Lorac palette that I purchased had a Lorac primer with it. Every Too Faced holiday kit or palette that I purchased had a primer with it. And every Urban Decay palette that I purchased had a primer with it. And one of them, I think it was the Smoky maybe, had all 4 primers. It had a sample of the regular, the anti-aging, the Eden, I think. And I ended up not opening that up. But I did use the Urban Decay. I have used all of my primers, and Urban Decay ended up being my favorite because it really did help with the longevity of my eyeshadow. Anytime I would wear an eyeshadow to work, and keep in mind I work anywhere from 12 to 16 hours. And as you can see, these are clear. That eyeshadow would crease and come apart just, through the natural course of the day. But on the days when I went ahead and used an eye primer, that didn't happen. Now, this one is the Glitter, I think, what is this called? Glitter Glue, Glitter Bonding Eyeshadow Primer. And that one is really good for these particular types of shadows in the palette. And some people have used it with the Too Faced, was it the Chocolate Bar 2, whichever one had that glitter in it, and they really like it. Now, I might need to get a new tube of this because I have had this one for a while. And a lot of times, guys, I know it's weird. I don't think that I realize how much time goes in between when I buy a product, and I actually have to sometimes look back through my Instagram stuff to see when I bought something. I have perfumes that I thought I bought 2 years ago that I bought as early as 2013. Also, these right here, this is the anti-aging primer. This one is sold for about $12, or you get it as a deluxe sample. So I think I got this as a deluxe sample with the Vegas Nay palette. But this one is a nice one. The age-defying one is a blurring primer. My favorite happens to be this one called Caffeine because it is brown. When it comes to the Renaissance palette, and what's that other Anastasia palette that I have? Soft Glam. I love this one because it's got that brown cast, my Chocolate Bar palettes. This is my absolute favorite, to the point of where I bought 2 of these, and I'm not even a quarter of the way through this one. Enigma is one that is brightening. I would say if you have brightly colored eyeshadows, that's a good one to use under them because it's kind of whitish. And that particular one, I believe all the proceeds went to a charity for that one. So Urban Decay ended up being the favorite of all of my primers. A lot of people like the NARS Pro Prime. I do have one of those from when I got in God Created the Woman palette. So don't think that a primer isn't necessary unless you just don't like them and a primer is not your cup of tea, because a primer will help in the longevity of your eyeshadow. It will help with creasing. Now, I have heard a few people say that those primers have the opposite effect, that their eyeshadow was fine before they tried a primer. That's why I say don't knock it unless you actually know, you know what I mean, that it's not going to work for you, because I do realize that is a possibility too. But this one really did help me a lot, and I really do like it. And like I said, certain palettes, especially holiday time, they give you primers. This one right here was the Fenty primer, and I got this to go with that Moroccan palette, and I have only worn it with that Moroccan palette, and it didn't do too bad. A lot of people really raved about this, and they really like it, but as you can see, this one too has that lightness there where it's going to enhance your colors a little bit and make them pop. So because a lot of people have mixed feelings about these palettes, and I'm just a regular makeup person. I'm not a professional by any means, and I generally don't use any more than 2 or 3 colors. Any more than that, and I make a mess. But I really did like these, and I thought they were pretty. And I do still want the red one, and I want the topaz one, and whichever the smoky one is with that black in there. Because I have a BH Cosmetics Weekend palette, and someone did a look and they used that black in there, because I also have the Urban Decay Blackout. But that was it. I just wanted to share my little thoughts on this. And give me your thoughts on primers for yourself. Whether they work for you, whether they don't. You know, what you use as a primer. Because it doesn't always have to be a primer. It can be other things. And if anybody knows the status on these, I am going to go ahead and throw these away because these are very, very old and they do burn my eyes. And I just wanted to share some of the things that these are used for. So until the next time, everyone have a great evening.